wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop coming.
Hey, welcome everybody. Hope you guys are able to hear me or able to see me. So I'm just gonna lean in over here. I gotta move my chair over. Trying to set up some more traditional inking. Let me see. Whoa, that one went too far. And let me go back to see if I can switch. There we go. You can see me just a little closer because I know you guys want to be able to see me. I'm the show, right? You don't want to see the inks so much. But here we go. All right. Now, they're on the inks. Oops. All right, so the inks are, hopefully you guys can hear me. I hope that I switched to a different microphone, and hopefully it's, this is a really good microphone. You guys can see it here in the shot. It's the boom mic overhead. So I'm doing some inking. You guys, we've never seen me do any live traditional inking because when I was inking traditionally, I was only able to film it with a cell phone. So I used to put a cell phone right here where you see this webcam now. So I thought, I've got all the equipment to do live traditional inking. Traditional meaning that I'm going to be using ink and a quill to ink my work. I use a Hunt 102 along with many other types of nibs and types of brushes. I use a lot of different things. If the camera's a little lower, you could see my bin of tools. But just to kind of give you guys an idea, this is my tools right here. Tons of brushes, nibs, tech pins, everything. I've got, and I'm yelling because I forget I have the boom mic. So if you guys can hear me well, I hope that you guys. This is the ink that I use, Cornor. And thank you for asking about me feeling better. So if you guys are wondering why people are asking me about why am I feeling better, I not only am I, I have some underlying health issues, some heart issues, diabetic and all these other things, but I had a tooth that cracked and it split down the middle, basically half the tooth broke off, and it quickly got infected so bad, and I was in so much pain. And then it turns out I had not been paying my dental insurance, so my premium, had lapsed. We didn't know. We weren't aware. They didn't send me any information like, hey, where's our monies so we can cover you, So that went on for a few months. So I try to go to the doctor, the dentist, and they tell me, well, you're not covered. You don't have active dental insurance. I'm in so much pain, and keep in mind, I've had heart failure. I'm a cancer survivor. I've had chemotherapy, and I have never felt pain like this in my life, and I'm not a big baby, I can tolerate pain. I have a high threshold for it. oh my God, was I in so much pain. So they're like, all you could do right now is just go to the ER, get started on antibiotics. That'll get rid of the infection because that's what's causing pain, infection, inflammation. They'll get you some anti-inflammatory medication, and that'll be a Band-Aid to mend the pain for now until your insurance kicks back in, your dental insurance. So I have to back pay a lot of premium of dental insurance, you know, and we hadn't really been, you know, it hadn't been paid. So we had to pay that. I have to wait 3 days for that to kick in, 3 to 5 days for it to be reinstated. So it's been about 2 days. Thankfully, the antibiotics were working. The infection must be gone or low because I'm no longer having extreme pain. I just have the pain now whenever I, you know, just something sensitive when the tooth is sensitive, like a normal chipped tooth. So that's better. Unfortunately, I couldn't take the anti-inflammatory because being a heart failure patient, being on blood thinners, they, you know, I can't take that stuff. So I had to take regular Tylenol, and that did nothing for the pain. Felt like it did nothing for the pain. And yeah, I'm wearing glasses, by the way. Can you believe that? I'm about to hit 50 years old, and I have had 20/10 vision my whole life. Now I have to wear glasses. Look at this. I don't have to wear glasses. I have to wear glasses to ink the work, to be able to see the fine lines. I only need just a little bit. These are reading glasses, not prescription. So yeah, that's why people are asking me, hey, are you feeling better? Is because of that. I was in extreme pain. It was so bad. I mean, I put ice packs. I was taking Tylenol. It was crazy. So the ER gave me the antibiotics. They gave me hydrocodone. Hydrocodone is something that makes me sick. It's Tylenol with codeine. It makes me nauseated and sick. I was in so much pain. At first, I denied it. I said, I don't want hydrocodone. It makes me sick. And they're like, well, that's all we can give you based on the fact that you're on blood thinners. You know, other than that, take Tylenol. Tylenol's not working. Went back to the ER. And like a drug addict, begging for my hydrocodone. Please, the pain, I can't take it. They're like, you know, okay, we'll write it for you. We'll give it to you. They gave me the minimum amount with the minimum amount of codeine. Sorry, this is boring, you guys. Just a quick overview why, you know, you haven't seen me on streams and why I haven't been anywhere and why people are asking if I'm okay. But I mean, it was crazy pain. Any of you guys that have had tooth infections and stuff like that will know what I'm talking about, but it'll bring the biggest man down, right? I'm going to get ready to use my quill. And this is how I pour my ink. I pour it into a nice little jar container. And so this is the little containers, and where I get them, I'll show you guys one that here I emptied out. They're just Winsor & Newton. So you can look at this while I explain. So I gave in. I took one hydrocodone. It took away the pain, but it made me sick. I was vomiting for a couple of hours, and the pain went away, and it gave me enough time to take the antibiotics, get the infection, inflammation down. And so now I'm not in pain. I'm just, like I said, regular toothache, which is not too bad. I can tolerate that. And so, you know, I don't have to take the codeine anymore because that stuff made me sick, but that's how much pain I was in. I was willing to take a medication that made me nauseated, and I vomited for hours. All the gross stuff aside, thank you guys for all the warm wishes. I was on Twitter, and literally like 105 of you guys wished me well. And that, honestly, I went, wow, people care. They stopped and you guys said, you know, wished me well. If you guys go look on Twitter, Jim Arias Art, you can see where I posted, and you can see how many people, you know, if you guys see me moving my it's all, you know, it's my tooth over here. So if you see me moving and messing with it, I'm not crazy. It's just, sometimes it's a little, it gets irritated, but, thank you guys. You guys are the sweetest. So I don't know how to flip this image right here. I'm going to learn how to flip this image on this webcam. I just got this. I've had all this equipment, and I realized, oh my God, this whole time, all I needed was just a $10 cord to hook it up. I still have the arm and the connection from when I used to use an iPhone to film. I just took all the stuff out of the garage and I bought a $10 cord. And here it is. I can show you guys traditional inks. So I'm going to show you guys my traditional inks. You can watch me ink. Traditionally, the pencils are by David Finch. It's a character called Radiant Black. It's published through Image Comics. This was issue number 1. This is a this is a cover that's already been published. So if you look at Radiant Black number 1, Dave Finch and Jimmy Reyes, we did this cover. And so I'm going to be inking traditionally again, and I want to show you guys, and I want to practice. So I took an old image that I've already inked, but I inked it digitally. It's the one image that Dave let me ink digitally. Inking Dave, you want to ink traditionally, especially because he's got a huge fan base. He's huge. He's a superstar. So, inking him, you want to make sure. So I want to get back into inking traditionally. I want to sharpen my skills. And on top of that, like I said, having that pain that I had in my tooth, and now that it's better, it still aches. But I can't. These glasses make me dizzy if I'm not like focused. Inking comics helps me focus, and I forget about any kind of pain, slight pain that I have. I always have pain in my back and all kinds of stuff that comes with the health conditions that I have. But I love this medium. I love inking. I love working in comics. I fight through the pain, and doing this helps me focus. So these are some of the things that I like to do. I'm going to use this in a little bit. I'm going to show you guys that. I'm going to put that aside. So I have this thing on the side of my desk over here that, if I go back to zooming out again, you guys can see my setup. I'm going to bore you guys here for a quick minute. A lot of this is really just a test to run things. I'm leaning in because my mouse is further away from me. Oh, God, I keep going back to the same camera. I'm trying to get to zoom out. All right, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit. You guys see me? I'm sitting at a drafting table that I have flattened down, right? I have this drafting table flattened down. I made my own table, this own board. I bought these little legs that will elevate it. I bought these at an art store, Azel's Arts, which they've closed down. They're no longer around, but maybe you can find them at mrart.com, or maybe you could find them at Jerry's Artorama or any art store that you like to go to. They're little peg legs made by a company called Alvin. And I took my own board that I wanted, this board here, and I put these peg legs and I elevated that. On the side of my desk, I got this little scratch paper over here that is a Bristol board that I cut, and I tape it like this. It's a Bristol board. I tape it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dip my quill into that ink jar like this. I'm going to dip it into an ink jar filled with ink, and I'm going to scratch on the side. So you're going to see me testing in my quill often off to the right side. This is what I highly recommend having this scratch paper, because you're going to have to clean the quill. And always use drafting tape, low adhesive tape, because you just saw it just stuck to the artboard. And if I peel it up like this, it doesn't damage any of the art. That's something you want to be careful. You don't want to pull up and damage any original artwork, especially over somebody, like Dave, who spends a lot of hours and he's very, very, his work's very expensive. So this is a non-photo blue. I'm just inking over something I've already inked before to practice. I'm going to show you guys some of all the line work, the way that I throw lines. And when you use a quill, it's not about so much the tool. It's about your hand is what really is going to master the tool. It's all based on your hands. And this is a steel nib tip. It's not very flexible. It's pretty, it's not as convenient to use if you take like a micron, or you take some of these more modern tools. But these modern tools do not give you the classic look that I'm going for. So I stay true to the brushes. I still use a Kolinsky Sable brush. Winsor Newton Series 7 is the only brush I can find now. I have an old brush that I still use. They don't make them, I don't think. I can't find them. So if you guys find a link anywhere for Raphael 8404, please send it to me. Because if anybody, you can find this online. If anybody's selling this Raphael brush, let me know. It's my favorite brush. Winsor Newton series is a close second, so I ordered those. I still use brush and quill. I use a lot of brush, a lot of quill. These modern tools, they're easier to use. They're convenient for travel. They got caps on them. People will use them at conventions and for commissions, but they're for professional work to get the quality of line work that I prefer. So that's why I will use the Crow quill, along with other quills. You know, these are all I have different quills. So I don't just use a 102 Crow quill. I've got a few other quills that I use to do some really cool effects that I haven't shared with anybody. It's hush hush. You know, it separates me from other inkers, and I will probably end up sharing that for you guys because I like to teach. I'm not a secret, kind of guy, Here's my first line of the day that I've just thrown down right there. And I haven't inked at all today. So we're going to start out with a couple of little lines just to kind of, warm up. I gotta loosen up. I gotta warm up. Hand-eye coordination. When I'm digital, the tools are always spot on. I don't have to be hand-eye coordination. I get right into it. Boom. No fine-tuning at all. Can you guys hear me? Will somebody let me know if you guys can hear me? Let me take off my glasses. Yeah, let me know if you guys can hear me, just so. All right, I'll zoom in to me just a little bit more. Let's go back to the artwork. Says, sounds great. All right, thank you. All right, so I can concentrate now. I can get into some of this little lines. So I want to find areas where I don't have to do the cleanest line. Like little areas where I can just, if the line's not perfect, and I can still get away with it while my arm and hand and my eyes and everything are getting back in a rhythm. So here's the big tip, and it's not a big secret, to ink better and to be able to control the quill. All right, here it is. 2 things, and you will master the quill. Is that 2 things? 1, patience. You need patience. It's a slower process. The quill is not as fast as a brush. The brush is not as fast as digital, right? But you'll have an original piece. You'll have quality work. Digital still cannot match the quality level that you can achieve traditionally. And I still do work digitally, but I've never been against traditional because I started traditional and I have a real passion for it. Oops, am I going too low there that you guys can't see? I'll zoom back out so you guys can see a little better, but I'll rotate the page a lot because I'm going to throw my line in a certain direction. Let me zoom out just a bit. See if you guys can see. Do I need I'm going to start inking. If I bring it down, I'll be inking this area right here. So here's the other thing, the 2 things to make you a better inker with quill or brush is to be gentle, light hand. If you have a heavy hand, then you need to learn to lighten up on the hand. And at the beginning, you're going to want to grip everything super tight. You're going to want to have control. But after a while, you kind of learn, get comfortable, and you learn to lighten up on that. So I've been talking a lot. My ink got dried in the quill. So I'm going to take this denim jean over here and clean it. I like to use denim jeans to clean my quills. And I have a baby food jar filled with water to wash my quills and my brushes. All right, so you need to, once you get comfortable enough in your art and throwing the lines, you can go really light on your hands. Hand-eye coordination. Boy, am I hungry. I should have eaten because my hand's a little shaky from being just a little hungry. So hand-eye coordination, you got to get it all back into, you learn to breathe. It's relaxing. You really have to, hold on. Okay. There we go. Maybe that'll be a little better because I keep inking up a little higher than I was planning to. Make sure it's on camera. So inking relaxes me. I like it. When I first started out, I'm a little excited. I'm a little like, a lot going on. I've got to forget about the bills. I've got to don't worry about deadlines and just focus on the page. There is no quill. And then, of course, there's a couple of little technical things in it on how you can throw better lines. There are a few things that I can show you, but you have to have patience because you don't just pick up a quill and start inking. I've been inking since 1994. So it takes time. But I can really give you guys a shortcut that the people that taught me never really gave me the real shortcut and techniques. They just kind of introduced me to, well, this is the quill, this is the ink, and good luck. That was basically my lesson in inking comic books was, here's what you use, the proper tool. Nobody sat there with me. Nobody critiqued my work. I figured it all out, the rest of it myself. But I'm very, very gracious to their generosity of at least sharing that much with me. So there are a couple of things and a couple of techniques that the way that you hold the tool, the direction you're going to ink in, stuff like that. I'm going to show you guys in videos to really help improve your inking, your line weights and stuff like that. There, it isn't just tracing. You're finishing the art, and you are. Let me see, it's still in view. Okay. So you're finishing the art, and on top of that, there are techniques. It is a skill. There are certain rules and things you have to follow when inking to have good inks. There's a lot of things you have to pay attention to. So you can't, it's not just paint by numbers and trace. You could, some guys get their wives to ink for them, and they can trace it. But if you want a quality inker who's going to improve it, I'm not saying that your wife, if you get your wife to, she could never get to that level, but it's not the same thing. You're not going to get that kind of elevation in your artwork. You're going to get somebody who's, if you're just tracing it, you could diminish the work, you know, and you want to find somebody who elevates, enhances, really knows what they're doing. In saying that, I'm a bit of a hypocrite because, you know, I would get my wife to ink it for me. That'd be kind of fun. Get a little team going. You know, I'd let her ink some of my stuff, but I mean, then again, I mean, I know how to ink, so I could teach her. You know, get her up to speed. But I mean, that still takes years. So inking isn't just tracing. You know, it's maybe I ought to zoom out a little more so you guys can see more of the page right there. So this is really just me testing out the setup, but there will be more videos. I'll learn how to flip this image. I don't know how to do it right now. I just really wanted to make sure the sound work, make sure that not only I just think, where did I ink? Right here. Make sure the sound works, the video works. I'm filming in 1080p. I want to make sure that you guys, you know, were able to see the lines, because if you can't see the lines, then what's the point? I'm going to switch to one little area right here without my quill. I'm going to switch tools, but I want to clean out So this is, I'm going to move the arc because I don't want to spill on it. This is my baby food jar. See that? That was water. That's just me cleaning the quill. It gets black like that, but I let it build up, get black, because then you could do ink wash with it if you wanted to. You could use cool effects. So if I ever need to do an ink wash on something, there it is. Bam, it's right there next to me. So I'm going to use this thing that I had on my desk a minute ago. Here's a cool tip and trick. That I gotta let this dry a little bit, make sure. Here's a cool tip. On Amazon, you can buy these little oh shoot, I forgot what they're called. I buy them, and I'll have to show you guys here, but so I buy them, I stick them on underneath my stencils or my straight edge or triangles, and they sit up so high on there that I then take my quill and ink right next to it, and the ink doesn't run, and I don't have to be tilting this thing. I just lay it flat and ink right over it. It's the right size. I'll make a tip for that. I'll show you guys how I do that, what I buy, where I buy them, so you guys don't have to worry about that. Here's a boring part. A lot of inking is stencils. I'm just taking this little stencil to see which one lines up, so that I can do a clean line. That almost fit. I just need to do a quick shine curve. That one almost fit right there. Maybe I can get away with it. Take a little multi-liner and just follow that guide to smooth it out. All right. There it is. Gave him a smoother thing, shape to it. I just take this stuff and I just stick them wherever. I just put them out of the way, so you can kind of see, right? That's what I did. Clean up the little circle so that it's nice and smooth. Then I can just take my quill, or I can even take the multi-liner if I want to be lazy, and just ink in the gap right around the side, fill it in. Now I can take my multi-liner and finish up the line right over there. I mean, my multi-liner. Why am I saying multi-liner? My quill. Here's the quill. you can see where I filled in the little gaps in between, but right up here, I just want it to, right there, I need that line to go through so that it goes out. You always want to ink. Any rendering is for two things. It's a couple of things. Rendering is to help the form and shape. So Dave Finch will render, and his lines render and shape in the direction and the contour to the object. Of this case, it's the cylinder of the big top of this character's head. Goes like that. So all the lines got to point and go up that way. There's also light source to keep in mind. And then, of course, cool patterns that you make textures with. So I want to keep that cool pattern going. So I just shape a little line on there to keep that kind of circle and to keep the shape of the circle, and then to keep that highlight. They're all even right there. So I just made sure that one lined up with them. I take a little bit of white out. I'm going to put another little white line there to separate my my shapes a little bit better. And just me being nitpicking and wanting to really pay attention to detail and line work. Actually, I didn't even have to use whiteout. I got lucky. I got lucky on that one. All right, let me clean my quill again. I'm constantly cleaning my quill because I use the quill for the real fine little details rendering, and I use brush for bigger areas. Let's see, what else can we ink here that you guys would like to see? Let's throw some, I'll let that dry for a second. I'll throw some quick lines right here, and you guys can see fast, quick lines. When we say throw lines, you're trying to throw a line as fast as you can. And I usually don't spot my large shapes. That means filled in the black areas. I don't spot my large shapes until the very end. This one, I just kind of felt like spotting the black, the large shapes. I don't know, just make me feel like I got more done, So here we go. Let me see. Can you see there? Yeah. All right. So I throw that line. See that light hand? Just throw them. And it's pretty simple. You just don't panic. Just breathe. Throw that line. Especially with this, these lines are supposed to zigzag a little bit. And just throw a nice, clean line. Let's zoom in on that one spot. And you guys can. All right. So right here where my hand is, like this, is where I'm going to be throwing lines. Let me clean my quill to make sure my nib is pristine, no clogs, no blockage, like my heart is good. It's clean. I no longer I had a clot in my heart at one time, and that's bad. It's very bad. And I don't want them in my quill either. All right, so here we go. If you guys can see right where was I'd be up higher. All right. So we just throw some lines, get into the art. Remember, light hand, light, gentle hand. The quill is a lady. You got to be gentle with her. Don't be rough. Don't manhandle your quill. And keep the paper straight. Up here is going to be, this is all going to be another line, ink through. And I'm just going to go through and just kind of ink it quicker now. It's got to be a little fast. Because this is speed lines, and my page is warping on me a little bit. So, that kind of affects the line. How you bounce your line, how you get little zigzags in it. It is a little bit of hand weight pressure, but it's Also, you can sculpt them too. So, and it's really easy to get comfortable with inking, but then the problem is my page warped right there. So it just kind of, that's why I don't spot the you can see it bounce. I don't spot the large shapes right away, but I can fix that. That doesn't matter. Easy to get comfortable with inking. It can become mundane. And the thing about it is, it can be, easily, you can get bored in it, but you don't want to. You want to stay engaged in your work. Viewers can see when you're bored, with the work, Here's the other thing, right? Here's that straight edge that I'm talking about. So if you don't want to freehand them all, you want them perfectly, aligned and straight. You can see underneath, I've put those little bevel pieces underneath to elevate just a little bit. If you want your lines perfectly straight, throw them faster. Some lines I want to freehand. Some lines I want nice and straight, fast. The only problem with this, if I do all of my lines like this, I lose a little bit of the wave in it. I need a little bit of wave, in there. It's okay that the lines can zigzag a little bit because this is an energy blast. So, you want, can you guys still see the inks right there? Okay. So you guys really want the some of the kinks and waves in it. Because you want the lines to kind of zigzag a little bit, But I mean, I can throw a pretty straight line. I've been doing this for a long time, but I know that that's not what this piece calls for, right here. I need a little bit of like zigzags in them. And then the way that you group the lines to create shadows and groups, there's a lot. I mean, there's technical stuff that go into this, into this stuff, Then, you add splatter effects on top of all this stuff and you get really neat stuff, But inking goes by pretty fast. It's not too bad. I can zip through a lot of this stuff. I can ink a page, and like this cover, I would have had if I wasn't sick for a week. I would have had it done. I can ink it in like 4 hours. I'm so used to inking the highly detailed work that a piece like this is, Dave usually has more detail than this, and his pages take me, all day, take me about 8 hours. This cover I could have done in about 4 because it's just the main figure. I'm gonna switch to a different quill because I got ink splatter on this page, and the 102 is getting bumped by that ink splatter that I put down right away. I shouldn't have put that down, but so it was clogging the 102. Usually I don't put the white splatter till the end. Putting little waves in it purposely. Here's another quill that I'm going to give away this tip for you guys that are watching the stream. This stream, I'm gonna delete this stream. So if you guys, because this is just a test run, I'll leave it up for a little while if you guys want to reference back to it or download it or something. Don't worry, the information I'm giving, I'm going to make individual videos or in another live stream with the image flipped properly. But so here's the other quill that I would recommend to use. If you have difficulty with the 102, but you still have a light hand, if your hand's still very light, you're just having difficulty controlling the 102, you need something to feel more like a brush. I'd recommend the 108 right here. This is a 108. It's a golden kind of they're called bronze. You either have the steel, the bronze, and there's another they don't use anymore, which was, I believe, copper. Copper's too expensive, so they don't use that they use steel and like a bronze like this. The 108 is very, very flexible. It'll that's not the 108. Sorry. These glasses sometimes, man, I see better without my glasses. That's not the 108. Oh, it's right in front of me, right here. I was inking that other little piece. I wonder it didn't act like the 108. I was like, hey, I inked this little part over here and it acted weird. This is the 108. It's bronze. See it? So it's very, very flexible. I'd really recommend using this. See that? Look how flexible that tip is. Right there, look. Very, very flexible. So I'd recommend using this. It's great. It acts like it'll give you like the 102, but you got to be real gentle with it because it's very soft and it's like the like a brush. See how I can throw the same kind of lines like I throw with a 102, but they're just bigger. See? There's a lot of tools to use out there. Just think outside the box. You don't have to be a 102 every time. You use whatever it takes to get you the line that you need. Quills are great because you throw a line and then and it's not long enough, and then you throw in the other half of the line and it will seamlessly put the line back right in there because the tips are so fine. This I want with a little shake to it, so I'm just kind of using up some of that. See, some of the quill right here, the ink ran off the quill, but it gave me a nice little shape to the line, and I used it to my benefit. You know, you want to be able to, you know, you want to have textures in there because this is an energy blast. And then I'm gonna go in with white out over it, but so little splatters around it. Hopefully you guys can still see. I'm not inking off the page here because, yeah, it's behind that. Where do I need to be? Like this. See that? I'm even inking in a position that's uncomfortable just for your benefit so you guys can see everything. So I just go through with this 108. It gives me a bigger line. It can hold more ink. It's flexible. I can do all these cool, fast shapes. You can do it with the brush too, but I like the quill. So the quill is, you know, it's what I'm using right now. So, needs more ink. That's the one thing. It can't hold as much ink as a brush, but it's, you know, it's still a quill, and that's what I like. I like the sharpness of the line that I'm getting, and whoop. Dave's work looks really good with these like angular type lines. It's how he draws. So with the quill, I can do that. I can get these really cool little lines. Get all this stuff, you know, going. So here's a lot of these little lines. I threw a lot of splatter down because I just wanted to play with the splatter tools. And you shouldn't do that to the end because then when you try to ink over it, gets in the way. But I'm going to power through it. let's do these lines right here. Just go through and zigzag with all this cool energy in the line work. You know, it's an energy blast. So you can see Dave's pencils underneath. He's indicated he wants these zigzag in his lines. I can still do fine lines with this right there if I want to break the line. That's where the energy is most bright, because the line went thin right there. So I just kind of like play with that. And you just kind of go through kind of fast with it, you know. Don't worry about perfect lines. I want little embers and little sparks coming off of it a little bit here and there. And I just keep going, playing with the shape, zigzags, little shapes. And just remember to, you know, can't rush through the art. Have fun. Take your time. Sorry that right now in the setup, I can't really see your comments. I mean, I will. Of course, after the stream's done, I'll be able to see all of them, but I can't reply to them. My keyboard's all the way across the room, but I mean, I can see some of them. I mean, I can see them from here if I look. So I can't reply, but I will take off the glasses here in a minute, and I'll see even better. And if you guys got a question, I'll see if I can answer some, but test stream, I'll have to end here in the next few minutes because I just want to test it out, make sure everything works. And I'll do more traditional art live streams. You guys can watch me draw now traditionally. You can watch me ink it traditionally and still watch me pencil and ink digital. I can do it all, you know. Pencils, inks, traditional, digital. Only thing I can't do that I haven't learned yet, AI art. I haven't learned that yet, guys. So if you're into AI art, it's not the channel for you, you know. I don't know anything about AI art. I don't even know. Am I putting my head in the way? Sorry. I don't even know how to use SketchUp. I know people use SketchUp to help their backgrounds and stuff. I'm not totally against that, you know, if you want something to help you speed up time, you know, kind of get the perspectives and stuff down. More of a more dynamic shot. That's cool. That's cool with me, you know, I don't care. If people want to do that, I wouldn't mind learning SketchUp because it sounds like ketchup. And I like ketchup. Wait, is that out the way? That's in focus, right? So right at the end, I gave it a little square shape, a little rectangle shape, and then I filled it in because that's what the art indicated. I can't redraw this stuff. I can't deviate from what the penciler has already put down. My job here is to harmonize and enhance. Enhance, you know, like Captain Picard says, or like they say in every crime drama. They go enhance. I want a few more sparks. Let's put down a couple of little more sparks flying off. It's interesting. It's neat, you know. And so I'm inking a couple of lines that way because I don't want to put my hand over the wet ink, right? So that's wet ink. It'll smear. So I'm going to move around. I'm going to jump around where I can comfortably place my hand, throw my line, and not smear my ink because you don't want smeared ink. Remember, these lines kink. These are electricity. Remember that Dave draws angular. And sparks. We got little spark energies coming off. Cool little sparks, static, whatever. I don't know what radiant black's powers are. I haven't read Radiant Black. Sorry, Kyle. He did send me a copy of issue number 1, Kyle Higgins, the creator, writer, because Dave and I did the cover to issue number 1. So he sent that to me, and I still haven't read it. Because it's such a pretty cover. I don't want to open the book and damage it or anything, It's a limited edition cover, too. It's pretty rare. Like Dragon Rage. Dragon Rage is, I get it back. They're shipping, it's printed, it's already printed. Talked to the printer this morning. It's already finished being printed. They are going to ship them out by Friday or Monday at the latest. So which means fulfillment starts the day I get them. As soon as they arrive, I start organizing, inspecting, organizing, and I'm going to kink this line a little bit more. There we go. I will organize, inspect, and then just start filling orders. And that Dragon Rage is a limited edition. I only printed enough for you, the backers, and just a slight bit more just in case I need to get damaged shipping to me if they arrive damaged, which usually the top comic is damaged. So I've printed up a few extra, but that's it. I am not going to sell them on my website. I'm going to open a store on my website. I'm going to sell my original art and future copies of Dragon Rage. But that pen and ink edition is special to backers. It's the one that they helped me take an undeveloped idea and backed me on a campaign so that I could develop that idea. And that idea, of course, changes along the way. The story concept changed along the way. The page count changed. A lot of things factor into the final result of the book. It changes. It's a project that you guys were involved in with me in crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is not retail, and it was, being able to launch. I'm able to launch a new IP and company, which, takes a lot of money to be able to start up a publishing company. So I still wanted to give you guys something great, even though I had a very small budget. And so the book is black and white. It's pen and ink edition. It shows all the fancy line work like this that I've done digitally. I was able to do even more fancy line work, and you guys will have this very, very unique version of the book. And anybody who has that pen and ink edition, when I see you guys, at conventions to come sign it, I will know that I have Dragon Rage because of you, because of the guys. That will be your badge that you guys show and can say, I was there in the creation of Dragon Rage. I helped in the development of it. I supported financially, supported this concept and project. And you'll have the book to prove it. You'll have the pen and ink, because I'm not going to resell those anywhere. And I'm going to create a standard edition and launch that campaign. That standard edition will only have 2 covers, whereas that pen and ink was offered with 6 covers. So you guys that helped me out in the beginning mean a lot to me. I mean, you guys believed in me, you know, and when there really was, it was just a concept. There really wasn't, and the story idea wasn't even completely fleshed out, you know. But because of you, we were able to make it into completion, and now those books will be going out, you know. You know, the characters changed a little bit along the way, and the page count increased, and I lost a colorist along the way, and then you know I had a small budget, and to try to, you know, there's so much money that goes into, you know, I've got to order all the shipping supplies, uh, creating a business LLC to ordering a PO box number, ordering all the supplies, ordering, you know, hiring, paying people, you know, the not only just the printing costs and the shipping costs, there's way more things that factor in the printing label to print the labels to ship it, you know, ordering the shipping service, paying for the email subscription service so I can keep you guys up to date. You know, I've got to pay monthly for that. You know, there's way more stuff that I'm not even mentioning, you know, but what was the other thing was, oh, the custom mailer boxes, the bookmarks that I got printed up, uh, you know, the custom tapes, and, you know, all that stuff. Plus, it cost me money to have Clip Studio Paint monthly, to have Photoshop monthly, and it's a lot of money, you know, to be you know, on your own in business. But I'm independent, you know, because of you, because you guys backing it. Dragon Rage is here. I don't depend on advertisers. Nobody can tell me what I can and can't put in Dragon Rage, because it's not advertiser supported, you know. And so I'm so grateful for that. And I had to do a little creative thinking, and I really enjoy black and white books. I collect them. If you guys see my collection, we can go through it one day. I mostly collect black and white because you know, I appreciate color, and I've got a great colorist now. It took me a long time. I went through several colorists. I lost colorists, trying to get, you know, hiring freelancers, working freelancers. I'm a freelancer myself. But the one pet peeve is freelancers who just can't dedicate to. Do I have a guest? Or, oh, I thought somebody was walking in my yard. I was like, hey, how come they didn't show up on the camera? But I can't even see out anyway. But I don't think I mean, I can always look on my cameras, I guess. But you know, humble beginnings, Dragon Rage. I had to get creative to work within the budget that I had. Lost so much money working with freelancers who just didn't work out. I said, I can't do that anymore. I can't lose any more funds. It's an extremely small budget. So I need to, you know, start humble, start small. And I did, you know. Dragon Rage is the independent black and white book that I've always admired. I've always admired those books. I know not everybody's into that, so I am going to offer one in color because there are people that want color. So I got to build to that. I unfortunately, I'm not one of the big campaigns, so got to start small. You know, work within what I have, and that's just the nature of crowdfunding, how it works. You know, things change and develop. You know, there's no scheme behind it, no shady, dirty story. There's none of that. I know that would be a more interesting story, but it's not. It's part of business. It's part of budget. You know, those that are business minded and know. I'm sharing this with you guys, so if you guys ever want to be crowdfunding or starting your own business, know that, you know, things there are a lot of factors that can change the outcome and what you can produce in your book, you know, your first time around at least. So thankfully, you have great supporters, great backers. Everybody's been wonderful. We're able to, you know, to continue and keep going, and hopefully you guys come back and with the next book of Dragon Rage, it'll be even better. So that way I've now found a professional colorist, somebody really good. It costs more, so it's going to be a bigger budget needed. And it's somebody I've worked with in the past, so professionalism and all that. That's why those guys get paid big bucks, because you can't just hire anybody. There's a lot of people dreaming and want to be in the business. And then when they get in the business, they realize it's a lot of work. And for some reason, either the stress gets them or they're unable to do it. So that's why companies don't take chances on newbies, unknown. They stick with a certain group of people because the same freelancers, because they are proven, and not every freelance colorist that I worked with was, some had really good work ethics. They just weren't at the level yet that I want on Dragon Rage, especially after, spending so many hours drawing it. So I finally got one today. I got a colorist today, somebody dependable. So in time for the next campaign. So we'll be all right. I was nervous. I wanted to launch another campaign in color for a colored version because I know there are people that want that. I would have stayed black and white, continued that way because I love black and white. But I didn't have a colorist. I couldn't find somebody to do it. And today I finally got somebody who agreed, and he's doing amazing work. He's coloring a cover right now for me, and I'm so grateful. This is a colorist who's on a major title for a major publisher. So the fact that he's taking the time to do a book for me, I've got good friends that I can call in favors. Of course, I'm paying him because, you got a family, you got to make a living, right? And that's the other thing too. People, when you're crowdfunding, backers, have to understand. I mean, I've got bills too. I want to make a living doing this. I'm not right now. I want to, and I hope to. So if you guys are on the fence about backing the book, you haven't backed Dragon Rage yet, and you're thinking about maybe backing the new campaign, know that you're bringing work to a I'm a person like you guys, and I want to make money doing this. I've got bills. I've got medical bills. I've got family. I want to get to that point. And right now, I'm on the current Dragon Rage that I've got. I didn't make enough to make a living on it. I made enough to just pay my supplies and business expenses, because it's very, very expensive, to be honest, and printing is very expensive. So next time around, if the campaign doubles, then that means I can make some money, but as long as it fulfills, like I said, I love doing this. It relaxes me. So now I'm going to take a new tool right here. This is a synthetic sable brush. It's not a Kolinsky sable. It's synthetic. These are plastic tools from Japan. And you fill them with ink if you want to. I do not fill them with ink. And when they tighten up, they turn the opposite direction. Lefty is tighty, righty is loosey. Crazy, right? Look at that. Righty loosey, lefty goes tighty. That freaks me out. I would have thought this would have been an Australian pin, but it's not. It's Japanese. So what I do is I will take my ink bottle. Let's pretend this one's filled with ink. I don't want to spill ink over the art. And I dip it, right? I dip it. Where is it? There it is. And then I dip it in there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm dipping off camera. You can see me on the other camera angle, kind of looking away, dipping. Dipping. All right. So where was it that I was looking at that I said, oh, there was a piece that I didn't? It was right here somewhere. I took my outfit. There we go. Right there. Right where my fingers tapping. There's a little, can you see that little spot right there? It doesn't go all the way to the edge. So I take the brush, it has a really fine tip, so I can't push down too hard on it. But there it is. It blackened that in, right? I just spotted some shape right there to that. It's really cool brush. I like it. You know, I can go in and spot some shapes in here. Like I know this is going to be all in black, so I just spot some shapes. And I'm going to use my quill to kind of render out of that darker spot. I like to use the quill to render. I like a little, Dave has a lot of solid black in his work. So you have to keep that in mind that Dave's work is going to be, you know, you got to know the penciler, the work. You got to study the work. So I know that there's going to be a lot of solid black. So I know Dave doesn't like halos. He doesn't like to render out of a lot of the black shapes. He likes a nice solid black. I mean, he'll render out of the black shape, but he doesn't like to render on the black shape. So what I'm going to do with this hand right here, since the image is upside down, it's a little easier if I flip it. Right here is dark shadow, and then I'm going to kind of render out of it to help him with the shape of the finger, how the finger goes. So what's great and cool about this penciler is that I know Dave. I've known Dave since I met Dave in 2016. We've become good friends. We've hung out in person. He knows Anna. I know his wife. He knows my wife. We've hung out, you know, in person, and Dave was super cool. You know, he took me and Anna out to a really nice dinner. We thought we were treating him. We thought we were taking him to a really nice dinner. And then when it came time to pay the bill, he was mad. He would not let me pay for him for dinner. He was like, I'm treating you guys. I invited you guys. And we said, you're in our town. We picked a restaurant. We thought we were bringing you out. He's like, nope. You know, he's such a great guy, man. He's really cool. We get along really well. You know, he's a good friend. And I really appreciate friends like that. The colorist is a good friend. I've known him too. So to have these guys with me, they're professionals. They're top talent. When you guys see the color work, you know who I'll announce that later. You'll know who I'm talking about. Who'll be on Dragon Rage. Top talent, you know. Anyway, so up here, because I know the penciler, I talk with the penciler, I know more or less kind of what he would like and what he would want. So you can kind of see some of the line work stuff that I'm doing. But right here, I just spotted black in there. It looks like, oh, he just made a mess, you know, it looks like that. But there's lines that render out of it, and I'm going to render from that in the shape. So I just spotted the black just to make it real quick, just to show you guys the brush. There was really no other, I mean, I do that stuff at the end. It was just to show you guys the brush. But here's some of all the cool little line work. Here's that line work on the head. See that? Nice, fun little lines. Here's those lines that we were looking at. Those zigzag and sparks. Look at that with a 108 crow quill. I mean, a 108 quill. Look at that. I spotted all these splatters and all this stuff that, you know, little grit and dust, but not too heavy because, you know, you don't need too much splatter. Just, you know, enough to really just indicate the grit, the dirt, the dust, you know. Cool rendering down here at the bottom. That's all, you know, quills down there at the bottom. Sorry, it's a little shaky. My camera's shaking on this thing shakes. There we go. I'll put it back on the table. That way you guys can kind of see, you know, if I hold it like this. Oh, you know what? I'll zoom in for you guys. I don't want to make you guys dizzy. Here we go. We just do it on the table. So there's all the cool little rendering, all the nice little line work, the stuff that you can do with a, you know, quills, brush. Show you guys some of the cool stuff there. Look at that. Here's some tools that I use to ink with. I'm going to show you guys here on this camera that are going to surprise you. You guys are going to be like, what in the world? You know what? You ink with that? Yes, I do. I ink with a couple of tools. Here's one that you're all familiar with. You know, a brush, a toothbrush, right? Everybody's like, do your splatter with a toothbrush. Do your splatter. Okay, the toothbrush will give you a really, really fine spray, right? And that's not always what I'm looking for. Sometimes I'm looking for droplets. I don't always want a really fine splatter, right? Sometimes I need a different splatter to do all these lines with it, you know. So I don't always want, you know, to all these cool fancy lines that you see, all the splatter that you see on here. You can see like on his arm right there, if I get real close, you can see fine little splatter right there. Tiny, tiny little splatter. That's the toothbrush. You don't always want that. You want these big, sometimes we want these bigger droplets like that. You know, we need droplets on there, like just bigger splatters. You don't usually get that with the toothbrush. It'll give you a kind of a weird, it'll give you a weird splatter effect. So here's a way to continue to use your toothbrush. And I can demonstrate and show you guys later on in videos. So you don't worry about memorizing all this. This is a test stream, going to be ending here in a minute. But just to kind of give you guys an idea of the weird, crazy tools that I use. I use these to ink with. Yes. It's a plastic spoon. I ink with them. Why is there white? Why is there clear? All right. White has black on it. I use it to, because it contrasts really well with black ink. So I put the black ink on the white so I can see how much ink I'm using. I use the clear, and I just put white on the clear for that. Or sometimes I mix them up and I vice versa. Doesn't really matter. And so this is what I do to get my splatter effects. I'd use this, right? I keep my old frayed Raphael brush. Look how frayed that brush is right there. Can't get a fine line with that. It will not snap back no matter how much of the, oh, I don't have it, but I have it here somewhere behind me. I have to show you guys. It's back here somewhere. It's a there's a brush soap that you use to reshape your brushes. Where the heck did I put it? Where's my brush soap? Okay, here it is. You take this right here. See it? Put a little water on it. And you clean your brush. You clean your brush with it. Where's my, there you go. Clean your brush with it. You shape it, and it'll get back to a fine point. You let it dry on there. It's that waxy stuff that when you buy them brand new to help keep the shape of your brush, and you can keep the life of your brush. This one's beyond that. This one's really frayed. So anyway, extra tip there. All right, so this is what I do. I dip in ink, get ink on the frayed brush. I put ink on to my toothbrush, right? Most people will show you, they get the toothbrush, they flick it with their finger, and you get your finger dirty, and you get all this little bit of splatter. But if you keep the brush that's frayed and you use the brush to flick like that, you get these droplets. You get this cool effect. You're not getting that fine little splatter from the toothbrush. If you want that fine little splatter from the toothbrush, which I need in certain areas, I did the finger thing. But I take this and I flick it, and you get that nice little splatter. I take my Dr. Martin's bleed proof opaque white. I use that for all my whiteout. I use the deleter for quills if I need to go back over with a quill to ink in reverse, right? Put white over black. I use deleter. It's much finer. It works better on the quill. But for brush and cover-ups and splatter effects, it's the bleed proof. No, they're not a sponsor. So what I do is I keep my jar, my baby food jar, right, with water in it. I dip white. Let's pretend I've got the white out, and I'm dipping white out. I put a blob on the spoon. Then I will dip into my baby food jar. Let's say I have a little jar. I dip it in there for a little bit of water, and I pour the little bit of water with the brush onto the whiteout to thin it out. And then It's a little puddle, really fine white, Dr. Martin white, and it's a little thinner because I put a little bit of water in it. You could take a little eyedropper and drop a little bit of water if you want to do that. Pretend like you're feeding a baby bird, and you then flick the white out. Bam, 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 off there. And you control it. How much flicker you want, how deep and how much whiteout you want on the brush. It allows you to flick off that. The spoon works great because it works as a well. It holds the amount of ink or whiteout that you need, how much splatter you're doing. You could really just splatter off of anything. I could take the back end of this and flick my brush, and that will still give me the same effect, but I'm going to run out. That's what the spoon is for. It'll hold the ink and the whiteout, so you keep going. I got other crazy tools that I use as well that I use for inking. Look at this. And I'm going to be ending here in a minute. Read your stuff, but look at this. That's an inking tool right there. This bad boy is so great. So great. SpongeBob. I use SpongeBob right here. This is an artist sponge. You can get them online anywhere. Has to be an artist sponge. It is a natural growing sponge. Holds ink very well, holds any ink very well. And if it holds ink very well, it'll allow you to control the flow of the ink, how much ink that you're going to transfer onto your paper. And that's what I use to create really cool textures, stamp effects, which is already a video in my channel on YouTube, along with that spoon effect. You can find all that. Yeah, so this here is the Radiant Black inks. I want to say thank you to you guys. You guys are incredible. I'm going to stand up off my chair. You're going to notice how short I am. I'm actually really short. So when I climb off this chair, you probably won't even see the top of my head. This thing is it's elevated. Oh, here's another cool tip. Look at this. Behind my glasses, to hold it behind my ear so that it does not roll off my ear and fall onto, and a safety little thing so that it doesn't fall off my neck and onto my artwork and ruin my art. It would catch it with that little rubber thing. And these rubber things, because my desk is inclined, you can see I'm about to put it down on the other little window down here. It doesn't slide. It just sits right there. Or I can anchor it on the top of my desk, and there they sit, right? I get creative. I make stuff, dude. Look at this. I made brush caps. I made my own brush caps. Look at that. That's me. I made that. Copyright, trademark. Just take, I'll show you guys, it's on my video, my YouTube channel. If your brushes, you're worried about them getting damaged or where you're storing them, make a brush cap. YouTube, it's on my YouTube channel. I'll show you how to make them for free. Make your own. They're at home. Just get creative, think outside the box all the time. Ink outside the box is what I used to always say when I was making inking videos. All right, here we go. I'm going to move over, check out your... All righty. Look at me. I'm short. You guys can see me over here. All right. So I'm going to say, I say hello to you guys. You guys are all so cool, so amazing. See what I've missed. And then I've got to take my medications, and I got to get back. Well, we'll keep that. I mean, you know what? How about like a split like that? Like you guys can see the artwork. Where is it? It's better like this. Yeah, maybe like that. And you guys can see see some of that artwork a little bit. Sorry, it's upside down. K-pop's here, man. Thank you, K-pop. You guys are awesome. The rivet my glasses to my head. I rivet my glasses to my head with steel bolts so they don't slide. Pretty much. I'm new. I don't really have to wear glasses, but when I ink or when I read comic books, I have to wear glasses for that. Del Rigo says, I thin my whiteout with a mixture of sulfuric acid and alien acid blood. Pretty much. I also experimented with mixing my ink. I don't anymore. I just use the ink that I have. And I thin my whiteout with baby bird tears. Yeah. Dude, you guys are hilarious. Oh my God, you guys are great, man. I appreciate that. That you guys have also popped in. Rogue also says, I'm short. I stand on the shoulder of ants to ink. Yeah, that's me, dude. Like, I'm really short, and that desk is elevated up high. So when I stand up, like, I mean, I'm pretty short. So yeah, that's me. Um, yeah. And we got Genuine Comics saying, hello, Jimmy. Greetings, chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, we got MD Dangerously. Yeah, what kind of 90s inker are you? Turn your hat backwards. Oh, I know, my hat should be backwards. So here's the desk. I zoom out a little more there on that other side. And Don Regal says, I would accidentally be smearing that ink all the time. You got to be patient when you ink. You know, you ink. It's India ink. It is fast drying ink for India. I use Kohinoor Rapidograph Universal ink, which I showed at the very, very beginning of the stream. I'm not going to keep this stream, so it's just a test to run, so it won't be in my library. But I'll show that again. I'll show you guys a lot of the ink that I use, how I dip the quill. I'll share all that stuff with you guys. Because honestly, you have to be patient with yourself to know that I can give you all the tips and tools, but in order to get to the level of inking that I'm at, I inked hours and hours every day, thousands of pages. I started inking in 1994. Really started inking really, really seriously in 2016. When I got to mainstream inking Dave Finch, and I got to work on Avengers and got to work on other stuff, and I really started inking and then doing covers with Dave, Dave Finch and stuff. We did a bunch of covers and doing that. That's what really doing that every day. It was really that. It takes time, is what I'm saying. So don't expect, even though you can have all the tips and tricks. Advice from all the inkers out there. You can have all our knowledge, but you need the experience too. So be patient with yourself, and know that you'll get there. You just have to. These webcams are different. I'm kind of getting used to them a little bit. I was looking at why am I off camera here? It's a little bit weird. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little better. All right, so you guys have to see my big head up so close. So I'll share all that. I'll share, everything that I know with you guys. Honestly, I'm not threatened. I'm confident in my inks. I'm not threatened by you guys. None of you guys can reach the superiority. No, I'm just kidding. It's a good craft to learn. I think it's great to be able to learn, be able to ink your own work. I think if I can share something with somebody, and I will, because for me, inking was great. Inking, I don't want to say it saved my life, but because of the fact that I do comics and I ink, sitting down is unhealthy for me, and it factored into my being unhealthy. But inking comics and drawing comics has kept me mentally healthy, and to me that's very important. Being able to, do that. I hope you guys can still hear me with that microphone. I should switch to this microphone here, but I think you guys can still hear me in the room. It might sound a little echoey. Luis Sanchez says, "Saludos from Mexico." Oh, saludos, hello, or greetings from Mexico, Jimmy. That ZHC cover looks pretty dope. I'm definitely going to be back in mine. Wish his channel was still about drawing and comic book art. Yeah, he's more of an art philanthropist, where he's using his platform to help people. He's doing artwork to try to use art to help people as much as he can. Zach's a very nice young man. He's very cool. I've known Zach about as long as I've known Dave Finch, and Zach's a good guy, and he donated the cover. He wanted to help me, and it looks like he may be helping me promote that cover too as well. I know he's super busy, and he's there's only so much he'd be able to do, but any help at all, honestly, I didn't expect any help. I didn't expect him to do the cover. He offered it, and I just say thank you. Zach ZHC, he's been a good friend. he didn't owe me anything. I mean, I did help him get some published work in comics, back before his channel blew up, and maybe that's what he feels. I don't want to say he feels obligated, but maybe but he's just a nice guy. He just he does a lot of these nice things, especially on his channel. And a lot of, I mean, what you see on his channel, that's real. Like, I mean, that's him. He's a great guy, young man, and he's a good friend. And so him donating that cover, and he's helped me, on Twitter, retweet it and like the stuff, and his big things on YouTube. And so he and I have been talking about me making a video on YouTube, and he's offered, gave me advice on making video. And so the next campaign is going to be pretty big. So which means for those people that back that first book, you got something special, because the next Dragon Age campaign gets bigger. You have something very, very limited that will never be reprinted again. That first campaign, for those that missed it, I mean, you did miss out on something that's great, but you still be a part of, Dragon Age. And, I think it's amazing to have been there on the ground floor for the people that helped me with the, Dragon Age was just an idea. And people help bring it to life. Those that were in that first one are going to have that special book. But you can always jump in and get the color version, or get both. If you have the first one, get the standard edition with the ZHC cover on it, and if you got the black and white, don't feel that because I'm saying that this is a colored version, that it's any more. You don't have to get it. You don't have to get it, because it's the same story. It's actually going to be more print run. If you got the black and white, that's where you have something very special. That was the very, very, when the book was independent and just being created, and it's limited. That's the one to get. And if you are just hopping in, you're getting that black, getting the full color version. You're just coming in. And you're a big collector, maybe you can talk one of these early backers into, selling you their copy or something. Maybe some of those people are like, hey, they don't really care about collecting, and maybe they'll put it up on eBay or something, because I won't be selling them. For me, Dharma says hello. Oh, he's saying hello to somebody else, not me. Oh, Dharma says fake 90s inker from the early 2000s. No, my first work, 1994. It was on a book called Absolute Zero. My first ink work, first published ink work that I got paid for. It was 1994, Absolute Zero number 4, over an artist named Joe Wilkins. You guys can find it. Just Google it. Absolute Zero, Antarctic Press, Jimeris Inks or something. You'll see it on there. I did that. And then in the 2000s is where I really started getting bigger projects. So that's why those are more common. I started inking like Blood Rain. I inked Starship Troopers, Ghostbusters in the early 2000s. And then I quit for a while and came back in 2016. I had suffered from heart failure in 2007. I was diagnosed with heart failure, and it was very, very bad. And it wasn't until 2016 that I returned, got well enough, and I still battle heart failure, but I'm doing good. I'm living a normal life. I have to eat, change my diet, lose some weight. I have to take medications. I have to exercise daily in order to live that healthy life. It's something that we should all be doing. We should all be doing that as artists. So, did I miss anybody? I apologize. K-Pop Junkie, 94 was a fun year for comics. Wow, you look younger than to be around 94. I saw you on the live stream. You don't look like you were 94. You had to be a kid, At 94, I was already a father and had a mortgage. Well, I was about to get a mortgage in 94. So, yeah, that's how old I am. My birthday, Anna's birthday, is in a few weeks. So you guys can wish her a happy birthday. It's just in a couple weeks. She's on Twitter and Instagram, and I am turning 50 in the following month. 50. That's why I'm breaking down. My tooth fell out. Half my tooth. I turned 50 and half the tooth just falls out. I get an infection and worst pain I ever felt. Raphael Klinsky brushes shipped from Maine. Where? You gotta send me the link, dude. Oh, jacksonart.com. No way. You're a lifesaver, dude. Wow. I gotta bookmark that. No, I'm sorry. I'm on a different page looking. Yeah, Jackson. So here it is. He's in the chat. Don't buy them all up before I can. 84.4, only $11. Oh my God, I paid 20 something when I bought them. Wow, dude. All right, I'm gonna order this as soon as I can get off the stream now. I'm gonna order this. I don't accidentally dox myself on here. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. Sorry the artwork. I'm gonna stand up. You guys see how short I am. I'll put the artwork upside down. You guys can see a little better. There. That was the page. You guys will see a lot more inking. You guys maybe, I don't know, might see me inking Mr. Finch on a major title. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, there might be. You never know, right? You know, I mean, I've been a good boy this year. You know, Santa might bring me that gift. You know, I don't know. Maybe. So cross our fingers, guys. And you guys will get to see a lot more inking videos and stuff like that. But thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys have all been here hanging out with me on this test stream. I've got to learn how to flip that image over here. You know, I don't know. Don Regal says, keep finding your way back to good health. Thank you. That's all I've ever known my entire life. I've had a battle with my health. I was born with cancer, and you know, at age 4, they found out and diagnosed me. You know, I was completely unaware. I was born with it, and at age 4, you know, they diagnosed me, treated me, and by age 7, I was completely cured of cancer. So, cancer survivor, you know. And then I had a lot of good years, and then I had heart failure in 2007, and you know, been battling ever since, and being diabetic and all that. But having a campaign like Dragon Rage, doing ink work, you know, for on major titles, just doing artwork alone has kept me mentally healthy, and being mentally healthy affects my physical health. And you know, not being stressed has helped me. That's what's helped me, you know, recover. And because, you know, I'm not so depressed. You know, with I'm happy in life that I've been able to beat so many of these adversities that have come my way. Even with my campaign, there were a lot of adversities and challenges putting together a book. And now I can say we've done it. We got it. The books are arriving. I should be getting the books by Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to go through them and fulfillment. I'm going to start fulfillment. I've already started fulfillment on people that just ordered a poster or just a print. You should already have those. Those are already gone out. But the books are going to start going out, you know, possibly as early as the middle of next week. So you guys let me know what you think. I can't wait. But thank you guys. I'll see you guys again. Thank you so much for the support, everybody. You guys are incredible. You guys, you know, really, I can't thank you guys enough for helping me through Dragon Rage and all the get well soon and all that stuff. You guys are unbelievably incredible. So thank you guys. I'll see you guys again.